Hello, everyone. Welcome to Cross Paths Revisited. My name is Bob Poniatowski, and for some 25 years, Charlie Berluti and I brought you all the news and views and people in Newport County on a program called Cross Paths. It actually totaled 600 different programs. So we thought it might be fun to revisit them. And so join Charlie and me as we walked down the railroad tracks for another version of Cross Paths.
My name is Charlie Berluti, and welcome to the program Cross Paths. Tonight I'm with Michael O'Connor, who's the pipe major of the Newport AOH Band. Welcome to the show.
Thanks to be here.
Michael, let me ask you, how did this pipe band originate or start?
I would say about a year and a half ago on Columbus Day, I was marching with the Ancient Hibernians, which I'm a member at. So I was marching with the on Columbus Day parade, just myself as a lone piper, and we went into Paul Crowley's after the parade, and we just got starting to talk about wouldn't it be great to start a pipe band here in Newport, especially with the Ancient Hibernians, and that's really how it got started. Many years it was tried, but it didn't happen. You need really the right catalyst and the right chemistry to make that happen.
How did you recruit your members? Because you know, bagpipers are not as common as you may think they are, or I might think they are, but they're really hard to find.
Well, fortunately, we do belong to the AOH, Ancient Hibernians, and that was and we have about an 800 membership, and that's where I really drew all the members that came from. Especially, we also went into the state up in Warwick and the other divisions, and so that's really how I drew that from that. But anybody can join our band. You don't have to be an Ancient Order of Hibernian to join that, but it is under the guise of an Irish Catholic organization.
Wow, that sounds great. I know that you guys have played many venues. What are some of the places that you have played? I know you mentioned a couple already.
Yeah, we're on a fast track right now. Even being a beginning band, but we're in demand, so it's a good thing. Did Providence St. Patrick's Day Parade, Newport St. Patrick's Day Parade, Police Parade, the Irish Festival that we just played at, and I think we're going to play in the Columbus Day Parade coming up, which we always do. And then we have gear up for next year again, March and so forth, and we keep on drawing and drawing and drawing, and I think we may do a Veterans Day Parade, so there's a lot of venues out there for us.
Wow. I remember we broadcast the St. Patrick's and the Police Parade, and I remember you coming down, and I remember how the people cheered for you people, and I remember saying that you are the pride and joy of Newport. You're just starting out.
You're right, and actually we really felt that, especially when we came into the 5th Ward with all our friends and family there, just screaming at us and cheering for us, and it was really quite a moment for everybody, and you just felt the whole community just backing us and knowing that we are Newport's bagpipe band, and it was really a warm, loving feeling. It's exhilarating feeling to march down St. Patrick's Day and a hometown band in that parade. It's incredible.
And knowing that the crowd is 100%
behind us.
you.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous feeling.
And what we happened to be, well, you were there too, over at Fort Adams, and you people did a tremendous job over there. And what we're going to do right now, Michael, is we're going to show the viewers some of that footage. So
Okay.
why don't we take a look at that?
All right, excellent.
Michael, that was some great footage over there at Fort Adams, wasn't it?
Absolutely. We're trying our best. We're trying our best.
Yes, and I know, like you said, you're a young group, starting out,
First year band.
but you're doing a wonderful
Yep,
job.
we have all levels of pipers in our band, from beginner to experienced. So we have to come together as a unit. So it'll just take a little time to get further and further enhance our musical.
Well, let me say that you guys are doing wonderfully well.
Thank you.
And I know you brought your uniform with you tonight,
Yep.
and you're going to tell us a little bit about your uniform. So if you go ahead and
Absolutely. The first thing that you notice when we compare ourselves to other pipe bands and some other Scottish bands is our solid colored kilt. And this is an ancient Irish saffron color, and we're pretty unique about that. This is a color that they used to wear hundreds of years ago, and it kind of faded out into history until recently. And I really, myself and the band, researched this, and this is the color that we've worn. So it's a very unique color. When you see a solid colored kilt, that's usually an Irish statement. That's not to say that the Scots never used to wear solid colors, because you'll see a lot of tartans. But the Scots at one time wore this color as the Irish. Most Irish pipe bands will usually be dressed in a solid green, a saffron, blue, maroon, and those type of colors and shades.
how about the stockings you have on? They call them stockings, or what are
They
they called?
usually call them hose.
Hose.
So it's a typical wool, sometimes cotton blend hose. They're very comfortable. Another unique item of our dress is our crisp belts, and you'll hardly ever see these. In Ireland, throughout our history, we wore a belt like this. And over time, with some of the English oppression, some of our culture and traditions went away, but we've really tried to bring them back recently, especially being in part of the Ancient Order of Hibernians. It really holds true to us. But this is a crisp belt, and this is really from the west coast of Ireland, particularly the Aran Islands. So that's another unique statement about
Is there a reason for that particular color, though?
No, actually, what makes it also unique is that each crisp belt is woven with leftover wool that make the Aran sweaters and all types of sweaters. So this is basically that the Irish would not let anything go to waste, that the remnants from the sweaters or anything that they were knitting, they would make a belt, and this is one of those belts. So each belt has different array of colors, which also makes it very unique and individualistic.
Are they all handmade? Or
All handmade from all over.
Does all of your uniforms come from Ireland?
Some of it comes from Ireland, but though, as maybe people aren't well aware of now, that the euro has gone up so much that it's very expensive to import things from Ireland to here. So the belts are from Ireland, but most of everything else is actually made here in the United States. It's just a money factor, and you just can't afford things coming overseas from Ireland.
I notice you have a Celtic cross on. Is that your own personal touch,
Yes,
or is that go on all the uniforms?
No, each individual can have their own cross, a brooch. We have some police officers in our band. They'll wear a badge, so that's really unique up to them, and they can wear anything that they want.
And is there a reason why you picked that out particular one?
Just to represent my faith and my Irish heritage and my Catholic faith. So that's what I do.
And the shirt?
Shirt is just regular green shirt. Our patches, if you can see that, that's our symbol, and it says Erenach Peabmore. That means Irish great pipes. But that's on our bass drum. So you ever see us marching down the street and look at our bass drum? That's on our bass drum. So that's our logo.
Now, is that what you play now? Is the great pipes?
We do. A lot of people will just think about their bagpipes, but there's many different bagpipes. This instrument that I play is particularly from the Irish and the Scottish. The Scots call them the Great Highland Pipes. Irish usually call them the Irish Great Pipes or Irish War Pipes. But in both Gaelic, Scots Gaelic, and Irish Gaelic, it's called Peab War. In Irish, it's Peab War, and Scots Gaelic, it's Peab Var. Peab Var. And that means pipe big. Peab meaning pipe, and more or war meaning great. So they're great pipes. You can't go wrong with calling them great pipes.
Oh, I see. Would you like to explain a little bit more about
Yes,
the bagpipe itself?
I'll be glad to. One more item that makes
Okay.
us unique is our headdress, and this is a carbine. It's not a beret. It's not a balmoral. It's a carbine, and this particularly headdress is really made infamous from Owen Roe O'Neill, and he was an Irish warrior in the 17th century, and it's from him that we honor that we wear this headdress. So it's a carbine, which translates to old hat.
Interesting. Interesting.
Well, looks nice though.
Yeah.
So I'll go into the pipes.
Okay.
The history of the pipes and where they came from is somewhat ambiguous. If they came from the Celts, which came from, they're exploring the Middle East, and they came from the Middle East, from here to European coast, and then to Ireland. We're not sure. Or if it's indigenous to both Ireland and Scotland, nobody knows. So it's really, nobody can really say how it really got in Ireland or Scotland, but we've been playing, both the Scots and the Irish have been playing them for hundreds of years and maybe over 1,000 years. But still, it's ambiguous and we're not really sure. But this particular pipe, people would say, well, the Irish pipe, which they'll say is a sit-down pipe, and that's an uilleann pipe. The uilleann pipes came after the war pipe or the great pipes, and one of the reasons for that was a sit-down instrument. You couldn't march to it, so the Irish could not rally their troops or anything like that when they're sitting down. So the English would think that, okay, if they're not going to rouse their warriors and their rebels by playing a sit-down pipe. So the uilleann pipes is basically a parlor instrument, but it's a beautiful instrument, but it's basically meant for indoors, where great pipes were meant for marching and calling the warriors to battle and such. But
That's so interesting. Now, are the pipes, on the great pipes, are the pipes made bigger than the other pipes?
well, the uilleann pipes are much smaller and a softer sound, and it's a chromatic instrument, and this is a one-octave instrument. And that's another, how old they are. It's only one-octave instrument. But I'll explain a little bit more about it. This is the melody. They call this a chanter. This is where you get the melody from. There's 8 holes and 9 notes. There's the blow piece, blow pipe. This is the hum, where you get the hum is from a bass. There's a bass drone, and then there's 2 tenors. At one time in their infancy, sometimes it was just a bass drone, then they added a tenor, or it was 2 tenors, then a bass drone. But now, basically, everybody plays. When I say everybody, most pipe bands here in the United States and in Ireland, Scotland, they play a 3-droned pipe, or war pipe, or big pipes. But at one time, it was 1 bass drone, or a tenor, or 2 tenors and a bass drum, either or other of that configuration. But not only do Ireland and Scotland play pipes, but there's great pipers in Brittany, France, Galicia, Spain, and Asturian. And they're great pipers, incredible pipers over there also. So it's always a struggle, and especially for beginning pipers, to play in tune, to relax in their breathing. It's a very physical instrument. I don't know if you've ever played it, but it's a very physical instrument. It takes a while to master.
Now, do you have to work yourself up to that? In other words,
You
give
do.
yourself breathing exercises?
You do. I've never seen anybody just pick up a set of pipes, never played any type of bagpipe in my life, and play anything. I've never seen it. It's the breathing that requires this is something you're just not used to.
Wow.
You have to really blow and squeeze the bag at the same time.
Wow.
The bag always has to be pretty rock hard, and you always have to have a constant pressure on it.
Yeah.
A constant pressure, not like a bellows like the uilleann pipes. You'll see uilleann pipers. He's using a bellows blown pipe. This is a mouth blown pipe.
Great.
So it's a big difference.
Wow. Well, Michael, thanks for coming on and explaining the pipes to us. And I know
Thank
you're
you.
going to play a song for us, Danny Boy. But
I've been asked a little bit to explain a little bit about the pipes and how they actually work. I'm going to blow right now. I'm blowing into the bag, and you'll hear me blowing right now. That sound with my drones my drone's humming, so I'm getting the bag, try to get my bag almost full pressure. Then I have to hit my bag so I get a nice clear tone on my drones, and then you'll hear me play the melody, the chanter. I'm actually gonna hurry right now and play Derriere because I'm under hot lights and it'll change the pitch of my pipes. So I gotta play before they go out of tune. So here's Danny Boy, also known as the Derriere.
Well, thanks again for joining us with Cross Paths Revisited. If you happen to remember fondly some programs that we aired and you'd like to see them again, why, you contact us here at the studio. I'm Bob Poniatowski. See you on the tracks.